perfect timing then.
Remember today, we have that one at 2 o'clock?
Yeah.
We got to be on time. I got a meeting at 3.
So that's the one that rolled in here at 8:57 today when we were waiting for him.
I got here on time.
I guess. Not according to your rules of on time, though.
Well, I mean,
If you're on time, you're late, actually.
I actually am just about out of gas, and I didn't stop for gas because I didn't want to be late.
Send Tater. Give him a text now.
I had to
Go fill it up.
I had to drive 9 miles per hour the whole way here. It was awesome.
Yeah,
It was 3 accidents. It was a good time. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 47 of the Slightly Serious Sign podcast. We have Matt Edwards joining us again. He was on episode 17. If you want to hear him after you hear this one, you want to hear more from him, he's also on episode 17. So welcome back.
Glad to be here.
It's been 30 weeks since you were on the podcast.
Exactly.
So it's like half a year. It's a pretty good time. It's kind of crazy to 30 weeks ago. And that was still episode 17.
Or we're just talking about how fast this year. It seemed like
this year went so
slid
fast.
past.
It was crazy. Yeah. The whole year was super fast. And so was this. We're almost at 52. We only got 5 to go. So be a whole year of podcasting. Does that make us professionals yet?
Not yet. I don't know when is the professional level.
What I need to know is when I hit episode 52, I need to know where the application is for the ISA badge.
Oh yeah, ISA influencer badge.
Yeah, I need. I'm be a professional podcaster, I should get the influencer badge at ISA.
Well, we'll make you one.
I think we both should have them. Should I get one too?
If not, I'm just going to print like a little 1/2-inch sticker that says influencer, and I'm just going to stick it on the bottom of my badge.
I have a meeting with ISA on Friday. I can ask them about it.
You should ask them how you get those.
How do I get the influencer badge?
Because we've been working real hard this year to get those badges. It's actually the only thing. If they give us the badge, we may not even do another episode.
Maybe we have to have them on.
That's fine. They can come on if I get the influencer badge.
So I'll get you one if you want one that bad.
I just feel like I don't know how anyone gets them. That's my concern with this. How do you get them in the first place? How do they decide? Is it just random?
I'm going to ask. I'll find out.
Like, there's not that many influencers in the sign business.
No. Just us.
Yeah, I think that might be right. They're going to hand out 3 total badges.
I mean, the episode they just listened to last Monday, we told them what the difference between a small and medium shop is. Yeah. We set the standard last
Nobody
episode.
had that discussion before. What do you think the difference is between small, medium, and large sign shops? This should be our intro question now to see what everyone decides.
Because you haven't been able to listen to the podcast yet because it was just recorded yesterday.
Yeah, I would say 2 to 10 would be small.
People?
Yeah, I mean, considered small, 2 to 10. Then you're upwards of 20 to 50. Mid-range would be, medium sign shop.
You go way higher than we did.
Yeah.
Again, it's all dependent what you're producing, too.
I said small was like 5.
Yeah,
and then
5 to 10, depending what small is.
I said medium was like 12 people.
Yeah.
Because I said I've seen some shops with 12 people that do an insane amount of work with 12 people.
Yeah.
And once you hit 12, you kind of you're going to end up with duplicates. You're going to either end up with a bunch of people in production or a bunch of people out doing installs.
What are you outputting? Decals?
Yeah.
Where you need a lot of people? Or are you talking, signage for, large signage? Or are you talking? Yep. So it really depends. There's different segments you guys sell to. So you have to depict that as well. You have to figure that.
But 50 would be a lot of people.
Well, like your large...
too many.
I don't know that
your
many.
Large fabricators, that's what they have. And they
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably know like 4 off the top of my head that have 50 people.
Right, you have fabricators and you have your printers. Yep. It's different. And you have a different segments. So why don't you guys tell them what the segments are, then how many people?
Yeah, in fabrication, it's higher. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need more people.
Yeah.
If you're just doing neon, you need one guy. Bob, that's all you need.
Well, I mean, if you had
and
2,
a dog.
If you had 2, you wouldn't have enough work.
No,
so
you need a dog or 2.
Yeah, a dog and, your mom's sitting in the corner watching you bend it.
That's the extra helper.
No,
when it gets busy.
She's the finance.
She's the finance.
She's going to keep them straight, right?
She's in the accounting.
Ordering and
imagine how hard accounting is when, granted, the neon jobs are probably pretty expensive because there's not a lot of people doing them, but I can't imagine you're doing a significant amount of jobs of neon right now.
So the original sign writers, for windows and lettering and all came from that.
Yep.
Was it all cash?
Probably.
Did they carry their box? They went
from place to place.
Place to place.
But even that, I mean, even that cash job, the counting part can't be hard because you're not going to paint 18 signs in a day.
No.
From place to place. You're going to do 2 or 3, maybe 1.
Yeah.
You know, door lettering used to be big, right? In big office buildings. And
yeah. I just saw a video of somebody hand painting a car. Which I was like, that's kind of crazy. I haven't seen that in a long time.
The very first Hall race car was hand painted by Dave Dunnett.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he did, and to watch him do it, like he's eating a carrot, walking around, he does all the white, then does all the red.
It goes around the other side,
all
does
the
the same
blue,
thing.
and then it actually doesn't come together until the final color, till the black or the outline or whatever to the final color.
Crazy,
but it's like that's all in your head.
Yeah,
like
true artists.
Yeah, even now the people that are painting are, I mean, they're still using technology to do it, right? They're just setting out templates. So you're just, I mean, like if you've seen like some of the new technology for doing like tattoos now, where it's like essentially they just print it onto your arm and then the tattoo artist just has to
like fill like a 5-year-old or
like, sure. Yes. There's still a lot of talent in there. I'm not saying I could do that, but I'm saying that is easier than what old school was.
I saw a girl at Wesco, not to be confused with Wensco. Wesco,
the gas station.
I got a buddy that thinks we still work at Wesco and keeps asking us to bring home slushies and stuff. Wesco's the gas station. Wensco's the sign place. But she was projecting with her phone onto the window and then drawing the window to like their ad on the window with like a.
Well, they used to do that. Obviously, projectors and big billboards. That's what you used to do.
I'm like,
yeah,
project, outline, and then paint.
And I said, do you know Wesco has a printer? Like you can call and they can probably print it and put it on there. They literally have a printer and they buy the stuff from us.
Pretty much the only thing that they buy that I know of is stuff to go on windows.
I remember back in the day selling them their first 30-inch printer. They were doing T-shirts for
They probably still have it.
For their whatever they were selling. They were doing it right in house. That's what started it.
I'm blaming Matt next time something doesn't run. That's probably what Matt told you.
It ran well. It was one guy. I don't know. They probably have a huge department.
It's not big. I think there's four of them.
There were two.
The guy that you sold it to probably still works there.
They're good people. It was a good family business.
They're great. And they print a lot of cooler window decals.
They make good pizza too.
What?
For a gas station, they got good pizza.
Do you have like a rating on gas station pizza or chicken?
He has a rating on gas station corn dogs. If you
gas station corn dogs.
Is it like gas station sushi? Do you have a rating for that?
If I go into a gas station and they are selling corn dogs, I will buy one every time.
Do you plan out your trip to make sure there are places to stop?
Just ran when I ran like
he doesn't like it to be planned. He likes to just show up and there'll be corn dogs, and then I'll get a picture of it saying they had corn dogs.
That's your thing.
Yeah, corn. Like we are in the middle of Wyoming in this gas station that like shouldn't even been there. And Tristan actually only went in. I didn't even go in. He goes in, comes out with a corn dog. He goes, I couldn't walk past it. And like, who knows how long that corn dog been sitting there? I still ate it.
Probably.
I still ate it. Oh, yeah. Gas station corn dogs.
I bet it's pretty hard to get sick on a hot dog, to be honest with you.
Yeah. How bad can it be?
None of it's real anyways. So
do you see they make French toast wrapped sausages that look like corn dogs?
Oh, yeah.
What?
Yeah. At Speedway.
I'm disturbed that you actually know that.
Yeah, they're at a gas station. Is it Speedway?
So it's instead of the regular breading, it's pancake batter. So you take a sausage and you put it on a stick and then
Then you deep fry
cover it in pancake batter and then
hope it all comes out.
Yeah.
Same thing. They deep fry fish in or something. So it's really tasty.
Yeah, it was good.
I don't know. He's got a weird thing for corn dogs.
Good luck with that diet. Good to know that. I'm going to make sure I remember that.
Yep.
If you see one now, you're just going to be too intrigued. You're going to be looking
at it. And you're going to
I do not want to buy one.
I may even buy a box and ship it to you and see if you eat it.
Mike's still alive. I should try this.
It's not going to be the first time you go out and see one, though. It's going to be like the fourth time you see one. You're going to be like,
he's right. They all have
fine.
them.
All right, fine. I'll do it.
I mean, there's obviously other people besides me are buying these, or they wouldn't be selling them.
They're just putting out one every morning.
How many of us
I wonder
idiots?
how many they sell. Who sells the most corn dogs out of any gas station?
Yeah, I wonder. I bet there's some good ones out there, but
worthless information, right?
There's probably a website just for that.
I mean,
someone probably has a website just reviewing
of gas station food. They probably rate gas station.
But they have you'll go in, they'll have 4 different options. How did corn dog end up on one of the 4? Enough people must be buying them.
Apparently,
well, obviously it's a you get it and go. It's not like a sandwich or something.
It's super easy too.
Yeah, you can eat it.
They just come frozen.
I don't know who jabbed their back of their mouth with the corn dog stick driving down the road.
Yeah,
the idiots, I suppose.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. Well, you can eat corn dogs and drive. You can't text and drive, but you can eat a burger with both hands and drive still legally here in Michigan. So.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with
drive with your
Big
knees
Mac,
and eat a
both
sandwich, but don't touch your phone. Not even for half a second. So
When he starts naming his corn dogs, let me know. We'll put him in the home early.
give me a good referral. Appreciate it.
Pine Rest, I think, has got an opening for you.
Sounds good. I know some people that work there. We probably can get in.
Do they have good food?
Tater tots, too.
No, they didn't. No.
How do you know this?
My wife used to work at Pine Rest. She sent me the videos of them.
Is that where she met you?
Yeah. Didn't have his shoelaces in.
Different division.
I'm just saying.
Different division.
You're doing well in your meds now, I got to say.
Yep. Got to put your shoelaces on and leave.
Yeah.
Shoelace.
Finally.
He tied them backwards, didn't he?
Yeah.
She didn't work in that side of Pine Rest, but I do know people that did work in that side of Pine Rest, and
great place.
They have some wild stories. So shout out to those guys, because that is not a fun place to work, but someone's got to do it. So, anyways, super short intro as usual for us. So we brought Matt on to kind of just talk about what to expect in 2025. So this episode comes out like the second or third week of January, I think. I think it's the second week of January.
Matt's the expert on 2025, or he's like a prophet?
Yeah, both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Both.
He's a prophet.
Observations like we all have, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, he obviously sells to most of our competitors, and that just gives it kind of a good overview on kind of what's going on or what we think is going to happen in 2025, as well as something that was interesting that you want to talk about. So.
And General Formulations is 10 minutes from here.
Yeah.
Jeepers, you drive fast.
Yeah, for 10 minutes fast.
Hey, 4 a.m., it's like 7 minutes from here.
This morning it was 35 minutes. So
the speed limit before 5 a.m. is triple digits.
as fast as
your car will take you. Like, the truck might be governed, the car is not.
The truck is governed. I believe it.
Speaking of Pine Rest, go ahead.
Yeah, maybe. You might need to go. So for people that don't know who you are, didn't listen to episode 17, do you want to just go who you are, how long you've been in the industry, and what is your current role? Because that's actually changed since last time.
Well, Matt Edwards, thank you for introducing me about 15, 20 minutes ago. I appreciate that. Vice President of Product Management. I think we've been doing this gig 28 years or so. It's grown immensely. It's interesting. It's still, every day you learn, right? It's a fun industry to be in. General Formulations, a family-owned company since 1953. So we continue to grow. We continue to concentrate on the customer and end user. But General Formulations has been around a long time, and we're here to stay. We're pretty excited about that. So we were talking earlier about people working, surviving, and for us, it's all about people, products, and service. And without people, good luck. Without products and then service to cap it off. So,
and believe in what you do.
Absolutely. No, and that's a good thing, believe in what you do. So, yeah, 28 years.
So people that don't know, we talked about last time, Matt used to work at Wensco twice.
That you know of.
Oh, was it more than twice?
Three times.
No, yeah, eons ago. Yeah, it's where we got our feet wet, and it's where we met each other as well. And this kid was, boy.
He couldn't have been, let's see, that would have been, you'd have been 8.
Yeah.
So just started working at Wensco.
Yeah, just started to have to work on the weekends.
Yeah, he was in UPS packing.
Yeah, he was in.
When I was 8, they didn't really care about the child labor laws when I was 8. So
a lot has changed.
It's a big deal now, but
yeah. Well,
I mean, poor Tater, because he was the youngest one. So like, he would come in on the weekends and he'd be pulling stuff off the shelf when he was 5 years old.
I can't imagine working a high-low that young, but I guess anything's possible.
Hey, he could drive it.
Yeah.
I mean, we got some holes in the wall, but he could drive it.
You had to put stilts on him so he could reach the pedals, but it worked out pretty good.
That was back when they used to be excited about driving a fork truck. Now it's like,
Some people still get excited about it.
Some people
refuse to drive it at all. So
it's amazing how many people are scared of the fork truck.
Some you don't want to drive. We've seen that.
Well,
you don't need to get back on it again. Once was good enough.
How old was my truck when someone hit it with the truck? Hit it with the fork. It was 2 weeks old.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, stabbed it with the high-low.
Yeah. I had my truck for the
original truck, the first truck
for less than 2 weeks.
Yeah, and someone stabbed it
right in the side with the fork truck.
Yeah,
but nobody did it though.
Of course not.
Yeah, and it wasn't on camera.
And it wasn't on
either.
camera. Like almost the entire building's on camera. That little section where it was parked wasn't on camera.
Isn't it the same when a skid comes in? Like, what happened to this? What? This is how we got it.
Nobody did it.
Really? Seriously?
It showed up like this.
It just showed up like this.
It's got 2 forks just shoved in the side. We just talked about that with trade shows, what we were talking about before we started the podcast, where it's someone stabs your skid with a fork and then they're
destroys.
like, no, it wasn't us. Be like, can you bring the high-low over here? I'm pretty sure we're gonna have an exact match here. It's gonna fit pretty
just
good.
like
Let's measure exactly where it just was.
Just like a bullet. No.
Yeah, don't move the forks. Just drive it back over here. We'll see if it fits.
Yeah, I'm convinced you just need blow-up booths now.
Yeah,
You poke a hole in it, you patch it, or
Yep.
it's just vinyl. Actually, you're just putting like it's like a tent. You just get a bunch of sticks, you put them together, and then you just
I'm
drape
sure we
some
can come
vinyl
up with
over the
one.
top.
So we said our booths now are we can drag it in our suitcases.
Yeah.
And then anything else that we don't want to bring, we just buy and we just leave it in a booth. TV.
yeah, we've
leave
talked
it in a
about it.
booth.
You think about what they rent furniture for. You literally buy couches and whatever and fill the whole thing. And the guy that's the main floor here, here you go. You can keep it all. Here's a note. You can have everything.
Yep.
It'd be cheaper than shipping it in and out.
We've left a couple TVs lately. Just leave the TV.
TVs and
Used to be heat presses.
tables.
You give them away. It costs more to ship it back.
Yeah, TVs and tables are cheaper to buy there and leave than they are to ship there and back.
Something wrong with this world.
It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, so like you can buy like a 24-inch or 30-inch TV for like $70, and it's $40 to ship it there and $40 to ship it back. So sometimes we ship them back because then at least it's only $40, but
Yeah, or destroyed when it gets back too, right?
or give them away and someone thinks they won the lottery and you're like, yeah, it just is too expensive to bring it back now, so we just leave them. So I can't imagine the people that work those shows, how much stuff just gets left behind because
It's immense. It is about
not
money
worth-
spent.
It is not worth shipping it back anymore. It's so expensive, especially at the show. If you're going to pay them to
The
ship
drayage.
it's an extra $40 to ship a UPS package out of a show.
Ridiculous.
That's one thing I wish could get a handle on it. There's a place over in, it's not Lyle, Illinois, but over in Illinois where Tinley Park.
Yeah.
Well, they bring you box lunches, you get chairs and seats, and they're happy to see you, and you can haul your stuff in and out.
You can use their carts. It's awesome.
I remember doing a couple shows there eons ago, and I was like, "What is this?" And I grew up in Chicago. Like, this is foreign.
I think you're going to see a change. I think that's one of the things you're going to see a change is some of these huge places that are union shops. We're not going to have our trade shows in them. We're going to go
Can
to
you imagine one that opens up
the Tinley
near an
Park or
airport
something? Yeah.
with hotels?
Tinley
it's gonna.
Park.
That
I don't
allows
know.
you
I
to
don't
use
know.
their stuff. Absolutely. Like people will have their stuff there because it's such a
And you want people to afford to come and do this. They need this, but they can't afford because it's just crazy.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of, we talked about that. Like one of the reasons we do the podcast is like conversations that you have at trade shows. Not everyone can afford to even go to them anymore.
That's why
Like, it's
regionals are important to have
expensive
too.
to fly. Hotels are expensive. Food's ridiculously expensive. So it's like,
So on that, back to the corn dogs, I digress. Last time we went somewhere and it was like, number one, you couldn't believe it. It was no more longer a shock. But beyond that, it's like cardboard. It didn't have any taste and you were forced to eat it. And what is with that? I mean, I don't understand that.
food,
All the
food
people
is
there.
getting more expensive and
It's worse.
and
worse food and worse service.
Oh, definitely the service.
The service is, I mean, I'm so mad at, like, maybe I just need to go back in the restaurant business, take over Wild Wings.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I'm about to go back in the restaurant business, take over Wild Wings. Wild Wings, if Sally, you're still in charge, give me a shout. I'll take it back over. Like, we'll get it back
I totally
straight.
forgot you did that. No, it is. Service is free. The smile, the hustle, that's free.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
Paying attention's easy. And but they just know, like, and maybe we got to stop tipping the people. Like, that's not something you're supposed to politically say, but like, maybe you got to stop tipping the bad waitresses. Get them to quit.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
We're over tipping the ones that are good.
Yeah, you're tipping 18%, where sometimes I don't even get to see the waitress again. Like the food
In
shows
the
up.
old days, if you got bad, you got like 5%. And if you're good, you got 18. Now, like standard, if you're terrible, you get 18. If you're good, you get 25. Like, nonsense. Let's go back to 5.
Or they
and
start,
18.
I slide it for it starts at 25.
Yeah.
And you have to go
It's
backwards.
ridiculous.
Yeah, those things are the worst. Especially, you can definitely must be able to set those at the starting points. When they start at 20, I'd hit the other button every time. Do you not make me start at 20? That's ridiculous. Especially when it's like at the counter. It's like, here's your sandwich.
So what's the percentage
like
of
to
people
tip?
going, they feel, okay, and they do it?
If I'm
A
not,
lot.
I bet.
That's why I keep
embarrassed.
doing it.
Don't be embarrassed.
I will not tip if I'm still standing up.
I think it's a good rule.
Unless you sit down, don't tip.
That's why they set that model up, right?
Yep.
It's just to eliminate overhead.
Yep, don't tip.
Speaking of, you said service. Kind of bring this back to as you circle around the service level and people that you run into and your customers and their, the people they deal with. It's an epidemic. It's an epidemic everywhere you go. I mean, even when I travel overseas, oddly enough, they come to America and get much better service than what's overseas. Even it's just where you don't tip over there, but then you get cruddy service. Not everywhere, but coming here, they love it, right? The nicer restaurants, people step out of your way when you're walking by. Here, they growl at you. Like,
Yep.
Service is free. Smiles are free. Courtesy is free. And how do you instill that in our generations coming up in our businesses?
Well, I just think I said it on a previous podcast. It comes back to management. A good manager can change all that in a week's time. In a week's time, you can turn a bad restaurant into a great restaurant just by changing the culture.
Culture is huge.
So it's a lot about, you don't have people that want to actually manage people. Like, they want to sit on their phones too. Like, they want the title, but they don't want to do the work. And you get one that does the work, and you can see some of the restaurants that do it. You'll see it. Well, you can tell by the parking lot.
Well, let's just say, for instance, Chick-fil-A. Everybody knows Chick-fil-A. That every time you go in there, and I've been there like 4 times in my lifetime just from travel or whatever, but they welcome you. They're happy. They come back and check on you. And there are people wandering around within that 20-minute period if you're sitting down eating at least twice.
Yeah.
And I heard a story which was really interesting. The owner went out with some pastor somewhere, and he went, hey, let's go as a friend. Let's go see my new restaurant. It's being built. Let's go next door. And it was a taco place. And he said, let's just eat whatever. So he went in the bathroom to wash their hands before. And this is the owner of Chick-fil-A wiping down the sink. And his buddy's like, what are you doing? He's like, this is what I tell my employees. Leave it better than when you first walked up. I'm like, that sets that impression of service. And it's not even his building. Not even his brand, and he's stepping forward doing the right thing.
Yep.
I think even if if you have a sign shop that has any customer facing part of that, I think it's something you should be well aware of, is what does that experience look like when someone shows up? Because this business is one that if you aren't familiar with it, when you're going to go in and ask for something, you don't really know what you're asking for, right? Like on our ends, it's like, yeah, we know what yard signs and banners are and all the normal stuff.
Sure.
But for somebody that's never gotten one before and they're just like, hey, I drove by the school and they had this thing hanging on the fence and I'd like to get one of those for my
no
building.
idea, right? And you have to
like,
walk them through it.
Yeah, like a banner. And you'd be like, I don't know.
What's
you
a
tell
banner?
me, right?
Yeah.
And if that's what their experience is like, I don't know what to ask, and I feel dumb when I come in here and have to ask questions. That's probably a lot of people's experience.
Well, why do you think these, let's just say these big franchisees, they walk in, they've kind of figured it out where they walk and they point, oh, that's what I need.
Yes.
Right? And it's like going to the restaurant, you're looking at their, nothing looks good, right? But then you start asking questions. Oh yeah, we can do that. Or we can, I'm thinking, well, why isn't it on the list? But that forward facing and that attitude of, be appreciative. They're calling you. Be appreciative that they've walked in. Have we lost it? I have to do a check for myself. Sometimes we have an attitude. I had something written up on my board. The owner was talking about one day, and it says about an attitude. The only one who can change it. It's like a flat tire. The only one who can change it is me. I got to change it, but I got to remind ourselves every day that it's a privilege to be. Again, I'll say it, a privilege to be working with people and being in a business where you're forward facing and on the phone all the time.
Yep.
That's your lifeblood.
Yep. And a lot of people don't pay attention to even all the studies that are out there. Like, I think you can bring it to the restaurant part. Like, how many restaurants now they just have that one little flip menu, not a single picture. Do you never remember the studies? Like 70% of the stuff that people buy off the menu are the stuff that's pictured. Like, and then you see, like, I used to get mad at, it was Damon's, because they would put something that would have a high food cost in the picture. Don't do that. I don't want to sell that, right? You don't want to sell the high cost item. You want to sell the low, like the bigger margin item, right?
Yeah.
So I'd be like, everybody orders the picture. Put the thing we make the most money on in the picture.
Yeah. And for a sign
people
shop,
are going to buy it.
So a shop, what that can look like is if there's something in your shop that is relatively easy to make and
higher margin,
and you can just do it quickly and efficiently.
Put it out front.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if there's something that's hard to make, maybe don't put it in your showroom.
I mean, look at our sales.
If you don't want to do it.
What do I say on our sales? Like the things I don't want to sell. One of the things I don't want to sell. I don't want to say I don't want to sell it. I want to sell it. But like step steaks. Don't just put just step steaks on a sale because they're a low cost item. You don't make a lot of money on them and they take a ton of space. You don't want to fill a van with step steaks. That van still loses money.
Yeah.
So like, that's one of the things where you just like, don't have a sale. We don't want people to buy a bunch at a time. We want them to buy onesie twosies with their other order.
Yeah, you're convenient though. You stock it. And,
yeah, we
but you got to sell the opaque, all the different colors, the shapes of all the coral that goes with it.
But we don't want to stock. We don't want people stocking up on it because that fills the van, which then that van doesn't make money.
Yeah,
we want them to buy as needed.
Those are your lost leaders. We get it.
Yep. So
it's our Costco hot dog, not corn dog.
Well, service. You're gonna make a step steak with a corn dog or something. Right?
There we go. Oh,
we could put corn dogs on step steaks. Dang, that's a good video idea. Rick, write that down. We might use that for something. Well, that's good. We're about 25 minutes in. I haven't done any of the questions I wrote down.
I think it pretty much all apply.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this has been a good conversation. So we're talking about what are we looking at in 2025. So the reason we wanted to have this, or the reason you brought up having this conversation, is just what we're looking at with tariffs. It's been a lot of the conversations we've been having for the last 6 weeks now in terms of products that, even products that are made here in the States, but the raw material is coming from these places where all the talk is that tariffs are coming, rebates are getting cut, all this stuff. If you haven't seen any of it, or if you just see it in the news, if you're a sign shop, you see the stuff in the news and you're like, okay, cool. I don't buy any of my stuff from China. So what difference does it make for me? A lot of that stuff is coming at least from that region of the world. And I think there's going to be changes. So, how is General Formulations kind of trying to position themselves, kind of knowing those changes are coming? Obviously your guys' plant is based here in the United States, in Michigan, like we said, 15 minutes from here, or 8 if you drive 100 miles an hour, I guess.
7.
I've never lived more than a half mile from General Formulations my entire life.
That's crazy.
Matt's trying to get it further away.
Yeah. He moved up to like Big Rapids or something.
It's pretty far away.
It's at 40, 45 minutes.
That's not too bad.
Easy.
That's a pretty far drive.
45 miles, 45 minutes. Simple.
Yeah, just highway straight there. So anyways, how is General Formulations kind of trying to position itself? What are they looking at? Or is there concerns on like price changes and that kind of stuff?
There's always concerns. Obviously, for us, our components, right? There's your raw materials. You got films, adhesive, liners, and there's raw materials within each one of them, wherever they're sourced. So we've dug long and hard and looked, and we're constantly looking and checking. And majority of our stuff is sourced here, right? It's domestically sourced. I mean, that's just how we've operated. We have some, depending if it's a raw paper that comes from certain parts, but as far as China, there's nothing that we have in our line that we know it's sourced from China. You may have a raw component of a 1/100th of something that comes in an adhesive somewhere. That's always possible in the day we live in because they do a lot of chemicals. But nothing that we see is going to affect GF as a whole. And I think one of the things we've talked about before, that I would say the percentage around 98% is, as far as here, we have a couple of products that one in particular is perfect, comes out of, overseas, but it's not China. Long-term relationship. U.S. has a good relationship with Taiwan as well for many reasons. But you always look at raw sources. You look at turn time. You look at the fluctuation of what could go up, like containers, right? We could see that go up again, depending what it is, because they don't want their costs back, so they're going to go up. What's going to go up? You're going to see steel and aluminum tariffs. That's already been known, right?
Yep.
How does that affect guys that are doing aluminum extrusion maybe, or aluminum, your upright signs or your changeable signs, but your frames, anything with aluminum, that seems to be going up. But it's not, I guess, rocket scientists is reading it. We're still trying to find out what are the real percentages, because what do tariffs do? What they're designed to do, right? Way back in the day, there's a president that he was all about tariffs. Tariffs were the fact that they were to keep things even in business here and building things here, and I think taxes was very low, and their income tax wasn't. This kind of offset it. Well, it's the same thing where if China's making a roll for $60, let's say, and it's then shipped here, where let's just say someone costs $200 to make that same product here. Well, that doesn't help anybody. It helps someone sell, ink and media, but then it doesn't help their employees, really. It doesn't help others that are buying everything else, right? I think of the companies like Walmart, how that's going to have a huge effect on them, on the products they sell. But it's also going to have a positive effect on companies here in the States that are making things here, that employ people here. And we're all for global business, don't get me wrong, but we've seen it's just uneven. And I think that I think is the hope of what I hear too.
And China played a little bit unfair, right? Their government was subsidizing stuff that was coming over here. So it wasn't like, and they still are. Yeah. So like, if you're a Chinese factory and you made something that's going to the United States, the government would pay you to ship it over here. So it's
a game.
The government was doing the opposite effect of what we kind of need them to do, and maybe the new administration will scare them a little more because they've already taken some of that back. But if it was just even, we don't really need tariffs because it's all even. But it's not even. Like if our government was doing that, think how much stuff we would ship overseas. If they were giving us 10% of everything we send overseas, government's going to give us 10% back. Yeah, we'd be the number one export of everything because we can make it all here and afford to pay. So that's basically what they did, which is a good strategy to build your country. But at some point, it
has an odd effect.
It'll make you broke.
Well, it will.
Yeah, you're kind of on a fine line. I know this is the example I always give people, like that. Anytime tariffs ever comes up in conversation, be like, this is the only example I have for you. Okay, so last time we had a big tariff on aluminum, right? And at the time, we weren't getting aluminum from China either, and we still had price increases because of how the raw goods work and all that kind of stuff. And so, but what happened is now our two current sources for ACM product are made here in the United States. They were not at the time of that original tariff. So it's like, I understand when everyone's like, yeah, historically speaking, it doesn't work, and be like, that may be true. I'm not going to look into that far into it. I said, the only example I have for you is to say, okay, when it happened before, we were buying it overseas, and now all that is just made from those companies that we were buying it for, now just make it here in the States. And that was kind of the whole goal in the first place. So it's like, well, if I'm looking at what's going to happen in 2025, I think if all that stuff gets cut back, and I think it sounds like even maybe further than China is kind of their goal, I think we may see a lot of people that were making it, maybe not even on that side of the world, but maybe in Europe, are still like, hey, let's just bring it stateside. It's going to be safer for us long-term based on what's currently going on. So those are the changes I'm thinking we're going to see from some of these companies that are currently making it over there.
It'll shift, and it was made here, but it's shipped over here. Could be a shell company or a building. Yeah. And then it's shipped from there. So they've played that before in fabrics. A lot of people got stung, busted, and, they paid a heavy price for that. That I'm sure that's going to be heavily scrutinized, and they're going to spend time and effort into ratting that out, because that defeats the purpose. Like with anything, that'll defeat the purpose.
Yeah, I think what you're going to see too on your guys' side of the business is there's a lot of your competitors that have plants here in the States, right? But a lot of their products are not made in those plants, right? They're shipping them in and then distributing from the plant. Correct. So what you may see is some of these, you're going to see all of a sudden they're expanding their plants here in the United States. And why is the case? Because they can't bring it in anymore and sell it at an affordable price. So
that and some of your stuff, some of even the GF stuff is going to be way more valuable, because some of the stuff that they are bringing in is they're down and dirty. And we know who's bringing it in, obviously, because if you buy a container worth, I wonder if you're making it here.
Yeah. Yeah. If you buy a container worth, it starts with that, it's not coming from here.
That means it's not coming from here.
Yeah. So we don't put them on containers to ship them across the United States. No, that's not how it works.
You just got to be aware of it. Again, everybody's got to run their own business, and, they got to answer to whoever's profitability or whatever, but it is about, again, we're domestically sourced, for majority of our stuff, and we're very conscious of that. But I think moving forward, communicating American made, I don't want to beat that. People are beat that with a dead horse. And again, we all work globally, but having it made here too, domestically sourced, does things like less of a lead time. If you have a spike in business, you get it quicker. If there's a problem, you can replace it quicker. If I feel bad for these people who've got containers in the water and it costs money to put it on the water, it costs money to store it, costs money to reship it to.
Yeah.
If you had multiple locations, no matter the product, what if you're aluminum extrusion, or if you're, making pool liners, whatever it is, you're going to have added cost to that. And eventually it comes down to, if there's a problem, is it worth the 10% or 15%? I've heard of people getting out of it. It's certain people in our industry they used to do it overseas. They've decided not to.
Yeah.
And I respect that. They've run the numbers. And
so I think the other benefit that we're going to see in 2025 for sure is, so in cars, they have this thing where like if a certain percentage of it is made in the United States, right, they can say made in America. So what I think is going to be fun this year is all of these companies in our business that say like, hey, we make our product here in the United States. The proof's going to be in the pudding, right? If the tariffs come in and the rebates go away, you're going to know, because you're going to be able to physically see how much the price increase is with all of these different manufacturers. So if you're seeing something like on your guys' side, right, where it's like the 1 of 1% is that source is coming from there, which goes to the place that you guys actually buy it from, the price is going to be super minimal, right? It's going to be like, okay, yeah, we had a 1% price increase, which on your guys' side, most of the time probably is nothing. You're just like, okay, it is what it is. But you're going to see some other people their product is made in the United States and they're going to have, 15, 20% price increases in 2025. And they're going to have to say,
possible.
They're going to say, yeah, we make it in America. I'd be like, well, why is it going up?
Yeah, there's that percentage thing.
So it'll be interesting. I think on the wrap side of the business, right now we're just inundated with like Chinese films that are coming in. There's a new one every single day. So I think that'll be a huge benefit.
SEMA showed that, didn't it? It was pretty evident.
Yeah, it was pretty evident what they're trying to do. And like I said, I walk around just kind of looking like, I want to see who's there this year and next year. And I keep mental notes and
who's really making it. And then people like a paint protection, there's only how many? 2 people, maybe 3 making it. And the rest are just rebranded.
There's two manufacturers and there's 37 companies selling it.
That's like a lot of products that are sold in the market. Some people are better at marketing than others. So
yeah, I mean, so there's definitely some Chinese companies that are selling, color change wrap film into the market that have a good marketing strategy. But what's going to happen is as soon as all this stuff comes down, you're just going to see these big price increases on this product that people were really only buying for price in the first place, right? It's not like they wanted to buy, Tiny Bot or whatever.
Well, there's that segment that will continue to do that. And it's how they sell it. You've gone into a shop and you're like, oh, and you've had good relationships with them. And you get talking about business and some don't know what it costs to put the lights on and run the shop, but they're profitable and they're happy. Good for that. They got their own business. But sometimes you're like, what do you sell that for? You're like, why so cheap? They feel they need to be there to compete. They feel like if I go up, my customer's going to leave me. That's not a good place to be.
Yeah.
And you've seen it too. And we've seen shops, this goes back years, go out of business because they weren't charging enough. I'm not saying gouge, but not charging enough for the services to do all the things they did for their customers. Like you guys deliver. It's in a truck. You have people, you have overhead, all these things that go into just not just having a truck, but to run it constantly.
Yeah.
That has value. Yep. Getting there in one piece on time. That has value.
Yeah. Spoiler alert to people that order from Wensco, that $3 delivery charge, it doesn't cover delivery. I don't know if you've done the math on that one, but
yeah, it doesn't.
It's not like we're recouping our costs to get it to you with that $3. So yeah, I mean, it's just service, right? You're like,
it is, and people mostly realize it, but it's interesting you point that out.
I mean, everyone is now. Everything is. We ship it for free. We ship it for free. Sure, but just know they're making that up somewhere, right? It's not like they're not trying to make money.
We've had arguments with some larger shops about the $3. We're not going to pay the $3 delivery fee.
Yeah.
We're getting our money, right? Like we're going to get our $3.
Yeah.
And if you argue with me long enough, I'm going to get $47, So it's like one of those things where it's like, is it $3 is like, it wasn't worth our phone call. It wasn't worth the phone call for the president of that company and me to over $3, and they order twice a week, $6 a week times 52. I'm like, come on, dude.
Yeah. And it just comes down to, that's the service you're willing to provide, even though
we have an understanding now. That was a customer here in town. We have an understanding. He pays his $3 delivery fee. So
Makes sense.
Phenomenal. But again, each person's seeing it differently for whatever reason. And
it goes in a different category, right? Some of it's their accounting. Like we do the same thing here, right?
Right.
It's their accounting. Some of it's like they at the end of the year, they saw this category and they're like, why we pay all that? Like we buy this much. Why would we pay all that?
Right.
Like that's built into the cost of just doing business, right?
Yeah. Just for the record, if that $3 delivery fee is too high for you, just start batching your orders together, okay? To be fair, it's a lot easier to deliver to you once a week than it is every single day.
And then we thought about, do you call it delivery or just call it a transaction fee? Like
service.
Because there was a customer, they've gotten way better. New ownership got way better. Remember, they would have 14 pick tickets every day.
Yeah.
One item per, like they'd hit send every time. And it's just like, you're wasting your time.
On their
you're wasting our
POs.
time.
Well,
like, run it to the end of the day and hit
McDonald's.
Send, we'll grab it.
Amazon has done that to us. How many times you're sitting somewhere and like, oh yeah, I need that. And someone, oh yeah, next thing you know, it shows up the next day. Oh yeah, I forgot this. I'm like, we've done it to ourselves and we expect it. We've been reprogrammed to, oh, that's just how it is instead of thinking about that.
Yeah. Tyler said just the other day, I had him order something. He's like, there's stuff in the cart. I'm like, why would you have stuff in your cart for Amazon? Don't you just hit send? Like, what do you mean there's stuff in your cart?
Hey, we care about our delivery driver, okay? I try and batch my stuff together, okay? Because if I don't, he will show up every single day to my house.
I'm like, there's nothing in my cart. Like, you just hit send. It doesn't cost you anything extra.
That buy now button.
So again, programming. That's programming, right? Pure and simple. Just send. We don't care. I don't care where it comes from. Where's that water bottle go? It's just. So how do we convert that into our industry with service? How do we change that attitude on every level? And like I said, including ourselves, to re-engage every day. That, you know, we're here for you. We want your business. We thank you for calling. Thank you for choosing us. We need a recheck and reset of this because moving forward, people are going to survive. It's you're going to go away. You're going to change or go away. And how do you keep fresh and new with that good attitude?
Yeah. And I think
started this nonsense though in the very beginning before Amazon. Like we allowed people to order up till 4 a.m. and get it same day. And it's like,
but again, you're adjusting your service for whatever reason at that time. Yep. And again,
that was when every one of our competitors, you had to have the order in by 3 p.m. the day before to get it the next day. And I'm like, and I was sitting back there going like,
when do we load the trucks? Yeah.
We don't need that. We don't load the trucks till 6 a.m. Get it in by 4. We'll have them loaded by 6. And then
that was different. It changed.
It became a nightmare. It's still a nightmare because Sunday night at like 9 o'clock at night, every sign man that gets a delivery on Monday decides he's going to get online and put the orders in.
But then you look at that service component, though. To us, you're thinking it may be organizational little pain. You got to get better at probably tweaking it. But then to them, he'd be like, "Dude, that's why I buy from you guys. You do different. You're different. You get things that I forget." And just like the Amazon thing, he wants to wait till the cart is. I'm usually like right now because I know they're already coming by my exit every day.
Yeah, they're driving by my house
twice a day, 3 times a day. You have grandbabies, you'll figure that out. That I didn't know they can deliver that many times a day.
Yeah.
So it's that same reason they have that same problem of how do they get more people in that cart, in that truck to deliver. So it becomes I can continue the service.
Yeah, I think the benefit of the changes that we're expecting to see in 2025 is if a lot of the stuff is moving over to this. Service is naturally easier when all of your stuff is here, right? Like even we just talked, what was this, 2 weeks ago, I needed a roll of material that we had in Chicago. And I got it from you guys faster than I could get it from my own other location. But if you don't have, like if you guys aren't here, that's not even an option, right? I'm not calling you to be like, hey, can you give me a roll? Like just one, I need one roll. That's all I need.
Yeah.
If you're not here or in this, like if we're shipping it in, that's never an option, right? It's not like I can call up and be like, hey, can I get one sheet of this light tan? Like, can I have it tomorrow? Be like, no, you can have it in 9 weeks.
That was a customer that called us on a Saturday too. We're not open on Saturday.
Yes, Sunday.
You've been in here. I've gotten calls before, again, 25 years ago. It's you after church, you come down, met someone for a ballast, and you took care of them, and you're in the area. That was that extra service component. That was a big customer.
Yeah. But you can't do that unless you actually, that's the other thing on our side of the business. You can't do that unless, one, you have the product, and two, your people are actually here. Because I think what we're seeing is a bunch of people working from home, but a lot of them they're not even close to their building, right? So it's like if somebody was to call me on like a Saturday and was like, hey, can I get, I need one LED power supply. Like, can I get it today? If we don't have people that are actually like nearby, they can't get it. And if we don't stock it, we still can't help them. Right?
So in that aspect, they're probably charging, and again, I'm just speculating too, charging if someone comes out in the middle of the night to check my furnace, he ain't coming out for free.
Yep.
Or she's not coming out for free. Why do we then not match that sometimes? Like they're charging their customer. I'm charging, I have to send someone down there. I absolutely will call someone up to come down there, but that's going to be $100. What's wrong with that? They want that option sometimes of what that emergency call is because they get them.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with that, but then we're back to the programming. What do you mean I can't get it?
Yep.
Well, that's I think why we're doing so well. It's not a secret. Like we have stuff in stock.
Number one stock.
And we pay attention to our stock very closely. Like it's a couple of guys that like, this is what's averagely selling every month at this location all the time. And then you can order from another branch, but like it's in stock. Like you order it. Most of the time what you're wanting on a general time, it's in stock and we bring it out the next day.
Do you find yourself now, obviously past COVID, because that kind of reset it, that just in time really didn't work? People that had stock,
100%. Yeah.
Do you find yourselves at a higher stock level being a family-owned company than normal, that you're able to then hit the service level that no one else can?
I mean,
what's the success?
Our stock's at an all-time high.
Our stock's always been high.
Yeah.
Like we're always tweaking the formula because a good example, the best example is like 4x10 Alumilite. Mm-hmm. Each branch may only sell 2 a month. So you're selling 14 a month, right? It'll never say to put a skid in anywhere, but once a month, someone buys a skid somewhere. So like you have to override your system. Okay, we have to put a skid somewhere, and then everybody else needs, if it's 2 a month, you need 4, right? So like we're constantly overriding the system or just putting those places so we don't lose that skidder. Because what would happen is someone orders 14. Guess what? 2 came from every branch. Now everybody's out, and now you're going to re-put it all.
Well, it's the same thought process of products. And I read something where Walmart knows when there's a storm in their area that blue Pop-Tarts go off the chart for whatever reason.
We do the same thing.
And so you have to be visible of that. My dad was in the food business 47 years. He knew Super Bowl was coming. He knew he'd buy more pop and Dorito chips than any and other stores, and he put these end caps up. But the system said, order this. And he knew to order this. And what he didn't sell, coming into holidays, he was cranking up margin on selling Coke 2 liters because he knew his business, he knew his people. And that's what you got. You got to look at it, the data, not just what average is.
Yeah.
Spikes are not what you need to know.
Yeah. And I pay a lot of attention to our inventory also. I know if other people do it, but I also do it. But I was very interested to see when, like, remember when you couldn't buy toilet paper during COVID? I said 1 year from today, you watch toilet paper's gonna be on sale again, because all the people that aren't paying attention to their inventory, the following year, your computer system's going to say, buy toilet paper. Last year at this time, we sold a ton of toilet paper.
Yeah.
And sure enough, you saw it. The following year later, you could tell who was a terrible purchaser. Like you could tell the stores that were terrible at purchasing, because all of a sudden
stacked to the
they got it back in.
They rely on the data versus knowing your customers.
Yep,
but we're all tied that. We know that we need to know our data. We need to know the spikes. We need to know best time. And what you guys for race car season, you got your fluorescents and your wraps and ahead of time. We as well need to know where was that spike and why was that spike. Yep. So because inventory costs money, but loss of sale almost seems to be cost you more, because if you lose that, what was the other component you missed with it, right? So you guys are good at it. I mean, I know, again, like family company like us, we probably have more stock, but it allows us to get that quick ship. You want an extra 200 rolls tomorrow? We can get that to you.
Yeah.
I can get it out that day. Well, having that ability to do that in this now age, I want it now, really helps us.
And we have the staff that's willing to do it too. Like you'll see even Tater, like, one of our bigger customers, he needs 4 skids of something. Well, you only fit 1 or 2 on a van. That means we're sending 3 vans, and we'll send 3 vans. Like they'll figure out a way to send 3. Was it last Monday? The Monday after Thanksgiving, when we literally set every vehicle that we own went out that Monday. Literally every vehicle, because we had just big sales over. It was probably your stupid sale.
You're welcome.
We had sales over the holidays, and came Monday, like, okay, well, nothing fits. What are we going to do?
Good problem to have.
And our staff was like, it wasn't like, oh, we got to do all this. It's like, man, do we have enough vehicles?
Yeah.
Dad, we need to use your truck. Like we were using every car vehicle we had available, and we got it all done.
Minus
So how does that tie to your turns?
Minus the one we forgot about.
Minus what?
The escape.
Yeah. Then coming to find out we
had an extra vehicle the whole time.
We forgot we had an extra vehicle out front. It was being hoarded by our HR guy or something.
He was hiding it from us.
But our staff our staff was like, let's do it. Like it wasn't like, oh, we got to do it. It's like
that's
to them,
a good
it's
culture.
The challenge.
Really good culture.
Let's get it done. Let's make it happen. And they did.
Yeah.
That's just, again, our same old culture. How are we going to get it done? I've never had production say, I don't know. It's always like, yep, we'll get it done. And it's like an insurmountable action or ask. How in the world? They code it, get it done, out, customer gets it. And because it's always they need it yesterday. We know that. That's the culture.
It's our business. Yeah.
That's our business. So like you, like us, we want to get it out. We want to, we like winning, but we also like the service brings that customer back and back again.
Yeah. And it does go back to culture where like, we're not ever down about stuff. We're like, like even me, like you don't see me get very mad about stuff like stuff that should make you mad. Some of that comes with age too. Like even when I was talking about just my washer and dryer, like hooking it up, like years ago, like when one hose goes bad, you're like, oh, you're getting mad. Second one goes bad, then you're really mad. I was just like,
whatever.
I looked at it leaking, I know there's a big smile on my face. Like, looks like I'm going back to the store.
Yep.
Like that doesn't even make me mad. Like, and that's the culture around here. Like you don't see anybody in our building yelling and screaming at each other. We're all like, even when someone screws up, we're just like,
okay, we can make it right.
Usually if there's a smile, it gets put on Snapchat, gets sent through the company, and then we go from there.
Don't do this again.
Yeah. You get if you
Here's
screw
an
up
example of what
something,
not to do.
Yeah.
Well, it's a mindset. Again, that's a reminder of all of us to have that thought process, because we could all go from zero to that, because it's not just that, it's the 100 other things around there that built to that. Or you're thinking that, oh, now this means this, this, and this, but taking a easy approach, I guess.
Yeah.
Sets a precedent for them.
So, yeah, this isn't where I thought this episode would go, but turns out what to expect in 2025 is it seems like service is kind of what's going to win out. Obviously, there's always changes in our industry, which we're not really talking about today, but with those changes, obviously the companies that are going to win are the ones that provide quality products and have good service that people want to come back to, because price is always something people are cautious of for sure. But if you get burned 2 or 3 times, that the pennies that you're saving sometimes aren't worth it. So I think what we look at, what you guys are looking at, what we're looking at for 2025 is like, I think what's going to win is the things we're doing well to continue to do them. And then the things we aren't doing well, which for Wensco is like 0 things, but for other people to make them better in 2025. So
no, I think the entire how you're going to succeed is, one, pay attention. Like pay attention to all your data, pay attention to all your people, pay attention to what's going on. But the reality is, do what you do good. Do what's got you there. Like don't try to change it because, oh, the industry's changing. We need to change this. We need to change that. No, we don't. Let's keep doing what we do good, but pay attention. Don't like, oh, we're still doing this, but there's a better way or there's a better product. Pay attention to that. But like the reality is, be confident in yourself. Like, when the customers are yelling at you, you guys are terrible at you doing this, you're terrible at doing that. Okay, open up next door. We'll see who wins.
Yeah.
Like open up next door. Like we'll show you. Like it's harder to do than you thought, but like the reality is, we got a formula that works, and we're still going to pay attention, but we're going to still use our formula. It's been working since Matt was here.
Well, since he left, we haven't decided on which one yet.
Eggleston started. He started the service, filled his truck up, and was gone all week.
Yep.
Came back with hopefully an empty truck.
Yeah. Now that you said that, Tyler, it probably started working when Matt left.
That's why we keep bringing him.
They finally instituted all the things I said to do, and
yeah,
it was.
When
Mike's
left,
like, "Thanks, Matt. Thanks
for the list." When he left, he just gave this big old list. It was like, "Hey, here's all the things you guys."
An exit interview.
You guys are trash.
A game plan for success. Thanks, Matt.
Matt, do you have to exit interview anybody, or did your
We do exit interviews with their people that leave, depending on the position and such. But yeah, it's important. It's you need to know that. People will tell you generally what they're thinking and what's going on their way out. And then some, there's not a chance to, if they, because we have a large labor crew as well, and they're awesome, and it's all about people. But some people change jobs for family reasons and other reasons, or they go somewhere else. So
Yeah, the only thing I'd caution people about do exit interviews because they can unfilter say stuff.
Yeah.
But you also have to understand that they're unfiltered saying stuff. Like, don't write somebody else up because what someone said in an exit interview because they could say anything, and that's happened here before. And I'm like, stop.
Interesting.
You can't do that. You can't write someone up for someone that said in an exit interview because, like, they're just venting.
Yeah.
And if it was an issue, they would have said it before they left, not after. So
good point. So afterwards, I got a you and I need to talk.
Yeah, he's got another list.
I got a pink slip of my. Judy gave it somewhere here. I think it's my car.
I mean, I've been in trouble for exit interviews, but I should be sometimes too.
Probably.
Well,
then for all of them.
Or you got someone that's mad at you, and they're going to pick on like you guys. My kids take the brunt of it, right? Even a lot of the times because they'll get mad at me for something I did, and like they can't get mad at me, like they can't vent about me, but they will vent about Tyler, Tristan, Austin. They're the worst people in the world, and they don't work hard, and they don't do this, they don't do that, and it's like, you're mad at me, dude. Just stop. Like, if you want to be mad at me, but like, don't try to throw everybody else under the bus. But some of it's justified, like that they work at 8:15, not 8.
Says the guy that showed up at 8:55.
8:57. I was here today.
Yeah, well, the podcast was at 9 if you're listening, so he made it, barely. But anyways.
Pine Rest lets him out at 8:30, so you can't blame
Makes sense, yeah.
I was on leave.
He's got a curfew. Anyways, Matt, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it. The last question I had on here, which I think still is applicable after everything we've talked about, is how is General Formulations setting themselves up for the best chance of success in 2025?
Good. We covered about most of it. Like for us, it'd be investing in equipment. We've got new coaters coming, new converting equipment we're investing in, possibly new casting line as well. We're looking ahead. We don't want to run out capacity. You know, we look at raws and ways that we can do things better, faster, but then reduce our scrap and those areas. So it's something not new for every year that changes. Even when regimes change, we're still focused on the same things with some outliers that we're aware of. So again, stock, service, but it's about people, product, and service. I can't say that enough more. And, you know, guys like yourself that are focused on that same, we are going to succeed together, you know, and we're going to continue to, and we have to.
Sounds good. Well, I appreciate, even with your fancy new VP title, that you'd come down here and talk to us. So
very personal.
Means a lot. So
VP.
Thanks. Yeah, we appreciate you coming on. Hopefully this conversation was useful for some of you guys. If your guys' service is bad, maybe you should work on it.
Or
change
just
culture.
Know about, you know, corn dogs. Maybe that's top.
Yeah,
of
if
your
you
list.
wanted to hear about corn dogs, you're welcome. This one was for you. So yeah, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this
Merry Christmas,
episode.
guys.
Yeah.
No, it's past Christmas.
Yeah. Happy New Year.
Hope you had a good time.
Yeah.
We had a great Christmas.
Yeah.
Thank you for the bonus. Thank you for the
everything
bonus.
I need.
The joke we've been making all week is, Christmas was great because all of our episodes are releasing after Christmas.
Was the bonus just all those jellies in a box? Thank you, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was,
Jelly of the month. Or
it was just three. What is it? Was 3 jelly beans. That was all that was there.
Corn dogs for Christmas. Go ahead.
Anyways, thanks for listening, guys.
Cheers.
Thank you.
We'll see you in the next episode. So bye.
Bye.